So good afternoon. Today is the 12th of August and here we are at the Cotswold Museum at Bourton Underwater. I actually first came here in 1992. My mother decided we'd have some holidays here every year for a few years, and I remember coming here well. I remember meeting Mike Cavern, who was the chap who founded the museum in the 70s, who also appeared in titles of Brum. There we go, there's Brum. Many of you will be very familiar with that series, and later on we'll go and pay him a visit sort of towards the end of the video. I do apologise in advance, viewers, if I get things wrong, if there is background noise inside, if I fall over, which I don't think I'll do today. Maybe I'll be a bit more sort of, I don't know, on my feet, but there we go. This is an old water mill in the centre of Bourton Underwater, which is very, very busy at the moment, always busy in the summer. We shall enjoy ourselves here and see if it's any different from when we last came here 5 years ago. I think this is probably the most famous hall in the entire of the Motor Museum. I can't remember exactly when Mike Cavern opened it. It was in the 70s at some point. But this is a kind of most of what the museum was when I first came here in the early 1990s. Like many people, I think, like the chap who founded the British Car Journey, obviously a fan of Austin Sevens. Here is a 1929 Chummy model. It's called a Chummy because it was small and cosy. You had to get a little chummy. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? One of the first cars, I think the first ever was a Cadillac. One of the first cars to have a conventional setup these days with a handbrake and the gear lever in the middle, and the three pedals, accelerator, brake and clutch, are in the right order for modern driving. It wasn't at all given at that stage that it would be like that. Then something very fancy here. This is a Austin 7 Swallow. It's the same year as the Chummy. That's a 29, and so is this. But this is obviously by Swallow Sidecars SS. It later became Jaguar. And there's William Lyons, who was the founder of the company. Got another one down here as well. Another Austin 7. Some red one. For some reason it's not got an information board on this car, I don't know why. Got some alternative brackets just in here. MGTD 1953. It looks quite old fashioned for a 50s car. Well, it's because these originally came out, these T-Series minutes, in 1930, so like 37 or something like that. It was with the TA model, something like that. So the chassis was improved on this one, but the body was very similar to the old one. Some excellent music going on here. J-Type J2 1932. A couple of motorbikes. And then a Morris Minor. Not the Morris Minor. The earlier ones, which was from the 20s and 30s. These have, well, not the best brakes. You can ask Mr. Richardson from Furious Driving. He drove one of these a while ago, and it was quite an experience, I think. He had quite a few problems. There we go, later 20s and 30s of this one. I think before the Morris 8 came out. Another MG, this is a MGY. Again, a sort of old-fashioned looking thing for 1950, but you know, cars of this sort of designs persisted really till sort of mid to late 50s. I think got something with a dicky seat in the back. Another Austin. Not all the cars actually have the information sheets on them for some reason. I don't know why. Little Indian motorcycle in the back of here. Again, we got no information sheet. What is this thing here? Oh, it's an American Austin. Wow, crazy. I wonder how that came over here. This is the actual place where you would have found Brum. I can't remember exactly what corner of the building you see him in the series from the 1990s, but this is the building where he was. I can't remember exactly where he was. If somebody can tell me, he was very familiar with that series. 1951 Jaguar Mark V. It's around the same time as the XK 120 came out. That came out in 1948. Model boat in there and things. Beautiful old Riley. Adelphi from 1938. Is that Kenneth Williams at the wheel? I think it is. There we go. It's Kenneth Williams. It's a fabulous car Rileys were. It's a shame they ended the way they did. This is rebadged versions of kind of a BMC and later Leyland cars in '69. BMW 327 from 1938. This is a lovely car. You could get them in Britain as well, actually. Fraser Nash made them. Beautiful old thing. And then the Standard 8. Standard was the main name really used by Triumph for a while. Triumph only made the sort of sports cars for a while. Standard were the saloon cars. That all changed though in the early 60s when Standard was discontinued in '63. Then O'Reilly Kestrel from 1934. Again, incredibly handsome cars that Riley made. All the selection of sort of motorcycle helmets and things. And a 1935 Austin Taxi. I forget the exact model that these were. Based on the Heavy 12. Sir James in there. It's in Carry On Cabby. There we go. Jaguar XK 140, 1956. This one's definitely in the title figure. It's a Brum. I can tell it's this. Definitely this one. Ford Quadricycle, 1896. I don't know how much this would be worth. How would you value something like this? It's so old, or how do you? I don't know. Here's an Invicta. They're a make a car that is long gone. I think they disappeared by about 1950. It's under 32. Apparently they thought it was a great idea to market a car that was about the same price as a Rolls Royce whilst not being quite as good. It's 1933 went back. I think they came back again after that, but all really together, not a very long production run at all for these original models. So we've got Sunbeam Alpine Mark III, 1954. Is this the one that's in To Catch a Thief, the Hitchcock film? It's a sort of similar colour to this, but a more sort of lighter colour. If I go back too far, I'm going to crash into this Invicta, so I do apologise for the terrible angles of this video here. Riley RMD 2.5 litre Touran, 1950. I always get confused between the different RM models. I really do. But this one is from about 1950. This door is damaged. Do not open. Okay, some old cameras in the back of there. And a straw boater. So in this area, which is like an old village garage, here's a Triumph Super 7 from 1932. I bet that's a rare car. There you go, only 17,000 were actually made. It's a convertible. And that's where the fuel tank is. That looks safe, doesn't it, doing that? That looks safe, pumping petrol straight into there. She's got some strange noises in here, dears. We've got this Rover 8 van from 1922. Again, this is a very, very old exhibit. You can see this in the title sequence of Brum, I'm absolutely sure of it. Oh, All Days and Onions, Victoria. What an extremely strange name. All Days and Onions. Wow. Yes, I'd like a part from my 1922 All Days and Onions Victoria, please. I love these old 60s and 50s, things like this. And here we have an MG 1100, absolutely covered in dirt. Wow. It's a bit crazy, isn't it, looking like that? There's actually a projection screen inside there. Unfortunately, I can't actually read this. I can't look at that very well. That's not the best, is it, viewers? 1936 Morgan Supersport. Still with 3 wheels, and the engine just hanging right up the front. I wonder if that affected the weight distribution a bit. Oh, it's a lot cooler in here than last time I came in 2020. Fiat Topolino from 1938. Is that Claudia Cardinal? These actually lasted for quite a long time. They lasted right away through to the more famous 500 in 57, where they had a major facelift before then. This is a 1929 Morris Oxford. It's quite a big car this of a time, isn't it? I suppose it's large. Got rear valves on the side of this. Don't touch the horn. Don't touch the horn. Don't touch the horn. How on earth do you pronounce this? It's built in South Africa to be advertising purposes. Dermikar. Dermikar? I don't know. I've never heard of one of these before. And then another Austin 7. This time it's a 1931 Austin 7 Ulster.
Yes.
Rather red one. I'm sure this is like, Mike Kavanagh's collection that he had of stuff like this. He really probably loved Austin 7s, and many people do. There's quite a few around, really, comparatively, of how old they are. So now we're in altogether more modern area. In fact, we're right way through to the 1970s with this 72 Mini Clubman. I have forgotten the name of this colour. I do apologise, viewers, but it's absolutely typical of this era. My gosh, it's got wombles in there, look at that. It's got one of those little, what do you call those? A cool box, that's it, cool box most of the time. Something altogether bigger. It's this 1964 Ford Zephyr Mark III. Like a lot of cars from this era, the number plates with suffixes on them, rather like this Mini here. Suffix on this is an L, which indicates a car registered between August 72 and July 73. But they didn't all come into all local authorities until 65. So this Zephyr doesn't actually have a plate like that. It just has an older fashioned plate because it weren't required to do it. So 350 STT. 59 Triumph Herald. This is the original type. I think it was a 948cc engine, which is out of the standard 8. I have driven one of these. It was a 68 3060 convertible with a 1500 engine, which is an absolute beast of a car because the brakes were not changed. Another was the gearbox that lacked synchromesh on first, so a bit of a problem to drive, really. Oh, it's better, viewers. The finest television series ever made. The original Avengers that ran from 61 to 69, although Diana Rigg only in it for about late 64 to late 67 most of the time. Anyway, it was Land Rover here, 65, which is contemporary with them both being on the Avengers. Some scooters, and then a Hillman from 1970, although this car's got an N registration, so I don't know what's going on with that, really. Not quite sure. One of the later cars. The one I've driven actually was a 1972 model Super Imp. And there's Alexandra Bastedo from the Champions. She's like 20 or something, would you feel that? St. Clair C5, Mr. Bill from the Fuel Pound channel will enjoy that. Yeah, Series 2A would have been my 65 actually, so it says Series 2. And a Morris Minor MM, late MM actually, they were discontinued about that year when the Series 2 came in. For some reason on this Volvo 800 ES from 1972-3, there's no information sheet, but of course I know what it is, because I'm a member of Volvo Owners Club, and don't hold it against me. Look at this, a huge collection of models and toys, and little ride-on things, and more here, and little toy trains, all kinds of things. Serious collector of things. Oh, Mike Cavern. Oh yes, viewers, look at this. You've got some more contemporary models here. We've got Mark II Granada, Mark III Granada, Scorpio, Maverick. No, it is a Maverick actually. It's a very late one. Hang on a second. That's a Nissan badge one. It's a Toronto 2. Why am I complaining, viewers? I'm being an idiot. All the way through to sort of C-Max, Red C-Max, and Echo Sport, Puma, tons of things. These are all Fords. Complete lineup. This chap's collected all of them. Crazy. More toy cars. Oh, here he is. He's actually here. And there is the title sequence from the back, playing the background for about, I think it's 1991, 1992 it first was broadcast. I remember that from when I was a child, although I was a bit too old for that. And now I'm going to get a copyright strike for the music. Oh, I was right, in 1991. Many of you sort of, just hearing that music makes you feel incredibly nostalgic. Mike Cavern himself actually did appear in the title sequence. He was, that means he was in the majority of the episodes back in the day. So viewers, there we are. I think this is a shorter video in 2020 for some reason. I felt like I was in there, I was actually suffocating because I was forced to wear a face mask when it was over 30 degrees. It's about 30 degrees today as well, but somehow it's a lot cooler today. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below. We shall see you again soon for some more incorrect information.